In 1873, Seth and her daughter Denver live in 124, a house in a rural area close to Cincinnati. They are ostracized from the community for Seth's past and her pride. 18 years have passed since she escaped from slavery at a farm called Sweet Home. Sweet Home was run by a cruel man known as Schoolteacher who allowed his nephews to brutalize Seth while he took notes for his scientific studies of blacks. Seth fled, although she was pregnant, delivering the child along the way with the help from a white woman named Amy. Seth's husband, who was supposed to accompany her, disappeared. After her escape to Cincinnati with her four children, Seth enjoyed only 28 days of freedom before she was tracked down by her old master. Rather than allow her children to be returned to slavery, she attempted to kill all of them, succeeding only in killing the baby girl. Rejected then by her master, who saw she was no longer fit to serve, Seth was also saved from hanging and was released to raise her remaining three children at 124. The ghost of the dead baby began to haunt the house. The two sons, Howard and Bugler, left after having particularly frightening encounters with the ghost. The grandmother, Baby Suggs, died a broken woman. Baby Suggs had been a great positive force in Cincinnati's black community, regarded by many as an inspiring holy woman. After what happened to Seth, she gave up her preaching and retired to bed, asking only for scraps of color. Years after her death, Denver and Seth continue to live in the house alone. Seth works as a cook, and Denver spends her days alone. Denver is terribly lonely, but is also afraid to leave the yard even though she is 18 years old. In 1873, two visitors come to 124. The first is Paul D., a man who was a slave with Seth back at Sweet Home. Paul D., like Seth, is haunted by the pain of the past. He witnessed and suffered unspeakable atrocities before the end of the Civil War brought him his freedom, and he was survived by not allowing himself to have strong feelings for anything or anyone. He was particularly he has particularly dark memories of time spent in a prison for blacks where he worked in a chain gang by day and was kept in a box in the ground at night. The second visitor is a girl named Beloved. It gradually becomes clear that she is the ghost of the dead baby come back to life, at the age that the baby would have been had it lived. Awkward, unable to speak like an adult, and dressed in strange clothes, Beloved seems vulnerable at first but proves to be powerful and malicious. Her purposes initially seem benign and are never fully understood, but by the end of the novel, her presence is deeply destructive for the living people of 124. Paul D. becomes Seth's lover, staying for a time despite friction between him and the two young girls. Beloved despises him, and she tries to divide Seth from Paul D. Paul D eventually leaves when he learns that Seth murdered her own child. Seth, on discovering Beloved's identity, believes she has been given a second chance. She tries to make amends for the past, but the girl's needs are devouring. The ghost does not forgive Seth for her actions. Beloved settles into the house like a parasite, growing ever stronger as Seth grows weaker. Seth's sanity begins to unravel, and Beloved only grows more demanding. Denver is forced to go to the community for help. A group of women, led by Ella, a former agent of the Underground Railroad, go to 124 to exorcise Beloved's ghost. The ghost is forced to leave, but Seth's spirit has been nearly broken. Paul D returns to her, vowing to help Seth heal herself. Denver, Paul D, and Seth will build a new life, one in which they learn to deal with their painful past while focusing on the future. Beloved is a haunting and dark novel, full of gothic elements and acts of terrible violence. The ghost represents the power of the legacy of slavery, which continues to trouble Seth 18 years after she won her freedom. Beloved is the spirit of the dead baby returned, but she is also an embodiment of all suffering under slavery. Her memory extends back to the slave ships that first carried blacks to the Americas. The question of the rightness of Seth's terrible act is a difficult one. Moreover, it is a question that the novel does not attempt to answer in a definitive way. Morrison is more concerned that we understand why Seth did what she did, as well as the ways that a decision has haunted her ever since. The novel effectively conveys the brutality and dehumanization that occurred under slavery, putting Seth's act in context without necessarily condemning it or excusing it. The structure is fragmentary, closely tied to the consciousness of each character and weaving subtly between past and future. More time is spent describing past events than the action of the current moment, reinforcing the idea of the past lingering and shaping life in the present. The novel is often repetitive, telling the same stories of the past again and again, giving more information with each repetition. All the characters of the novel, former slaves and the children of former slaves, suffer a troubled relationship to their own past. Their relationships to their past often make it impossible for them to live for the present or plan for the future. And slavery has often damaged the ways they experience love and think about their own worth as human beings.